Welcome back to CBB2, and we are sitting comfortably. Thanks for tuning in again on this latest project. If you like it, obviously give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please. As we've got quite a lot of projects on at the moment, not least all the world's fastest bumper car, do amuse yourselves certainly tuning into this one, because there's another CB50. If you haven't already watched that series, I'll put a link in a card. I think I'll try that, but I'll definitely put a link in the description, because that's a previous model that we have nearly finished, as you can see. So yeah, there's a lot going on, so it might be a while. These might be sporadic, these updates on this particular one, because I'm not going to really be focusing on it very much at the moment. There's a lot of craziness going on around here, including a 125-mile-an-hour bumper car that has to be built. So do check out that series, and as I say, subscribe, and if you know anyone else that might be interested in my lunacy, then please encourage them to watch. Yes, the more observant among you may have noticed that it's remarkably upright, as opposed to the Caferacer slouch. Yeah, that's because it only has a centre stand, which was a bit of a nightmare when I got it home, because I hadn't realised that. And you know, I struggled with the Kawasaki to get it on. Anyway, it's all about the technique, so which I'd forgotten. But I managed to get it up on the centre stand. So that's good. So I think the first thing is to try and fit a kickstand to it. Yeah. And I just happen to have one. It's whether I can get it to fit. It comes from our dear donor bike, the R6 in the corner there. Yes, if you're not sure, that is a Yamaha, or was a Yamaha R6. For various reasons, it's in bits. Anyway, we've got a side stand in here. Let's see if we can get that to work. Obviously, it's complicated. It's not going to be straightforward. We've got 2 mounting bolts and only 1 mounting hole, as you saw. Whether that will be sufficient or not, I don't know. Well, as suspected, without a lot of modification to either the frame and or the kickstand, it ain't going to fit in any way, shape or form that's going to be remotely useful. So yeah, it'll be a lot easier just to sell the R6 one and buy one that does work. Well, that seems to have worked out well. Yes, R6 foot stand on eBay for 55 bucks, I think. New universal stand coming for 25. We all know about universal things, but it looks like it should work. So I don't really know where to start. Just some other things that I've noticed, as well as the new coils. We've got all new HT leads and spark plug holders. Maybe new spark plugs, not sure. Anyway, I suppose a good clean down would be a good start, wouldn't it? Except it's still on the centre stand and I don't want to move it until I get the side stand, so I'm not going to be doing that either. You may have noticed on the exhaust system, which is identical to the one on the other CB, the mounts match up with the rear pegs. So, nearly. I think it just needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of persuasion and adjustment maybe, and that'll line up. Thought I'd try out the custom tank fit while I remember, and while I've still got the carbs off the other Honda, and yeah, it doesn't even remotely fit that one, so that's not an option. Not that particular tank anyway. So if we're going to work on this monstrosity, we might as well get started, because we all know it's a long process. So I'm just going to get some Bondo out and fill in the gouges and yeah, contemplate designs. Yeah, I'm thinking some kind of stripe like that follows the line of the offset fuel cap. Might look quite different, bit neat. Yes, except obviously not in blue and brown, because we're not working for the clamp down. Having decanted the various boxes of stuff into one and thrown away a lot of junk, it was a little bit of a close call. Well, I'm glad I decided to take a look at the tank, because that was a close call. I had thrown that key away, luckily only as far as there, and tomorrow it would have been in the trash because it's trash day. Because that's a brand new ignition thing, yeah, which we probably won't use anyway, but I thought, well, we don't need the old key, right? Yeah, well, we do. So let's get bondoing. Well, I think that's the worst of it. Just about covered. Yeah. And no, this is not Top Gear, and that's not a cock without balls. That's the seat and the measurements, because I'm going to see what we can find on eBay. And I've been thinking about the front forks. Yeah. I've not come across this before, and I don't think it's standard. And I don't know how to get those off, because I've been watching some videos on how to shorten front forks. And it seems to be a relatively simple process, I have to say. But then I thought, I've got the old Honda forks, so I could practice on those, just in case, because I'm probably going to throw them away anyway. And then I had another idea, because they're already kind of shorter. So what if we just fitted those? I know it's a bit of a backward step, because they're off an older model, and of course the old model only had one single front disc, as you can see. Oh no, that's the Kawasaki. Anyway, it's similar. So that's food for thought anyway. Whether it's sensible or not, I don't know. I'm going to, when Chris comes up for various other things, I'm going to ask him about these, because I've just never seen that before, and I have no idea how you get them off. Normally there's a nice bolt on the top that you undo. Here's the Honda wheel out here. Yes, still fairly complete, and a nice new tyre on it. And maybe this wheel will just slot in just the same anyway. You don't know. Then we just have to work out how to mount brake calipers to a set of forks that aren't designed for them. That doesn't sound remotely complicated. It would be interesting though to see kind of how that affects the stance of the whole bike, because at the moment that just looks ridiculously high at the front, doesn't it? I thought the Kawasaki still looked a bit high, even on its R6 front end. I mean, look at that. It's towering above it. And then that boy, yeah, that's a proper Caferacer. Anyway, I did check, and they're 35mm, which is probably standard to Honda, and probably standard, honestly, to all these old bikes, whereas the bigger, chunkier forks on the new bikes are 43, and your upside downies are 54, and down there they're 43 still. Yeah. And luckily we still have the engine crane here. Well, I mean, luckily, because that'll mean oiking it all up in the air. Unluckily, because it takes up a lot of bloody room, as does half a Yamaha R6 in bits. I don't know what to do about that. I kind of fancied seeing if we could swap the back end of the R6 into something, but I like the back end on this, so this is not the occasion. But yes, while we're on the subject of the engine crane, it is useful that it's still here, because we can get this boy off as well and start painting that up. Well, maybe it just needs a good clean. That's in pretty good nick. It's the front one that's pretty horrible, and maybe that's just dirty. No, that's horrible. That's rusty. So yeah, I think we hoik the front end up and start experimenting and maybe painting this wheel. Well, if we go black, I mean, somebody's painted it black already by the looks of it, but badly. Or whether we go orange. we are going orange with this bike. I've decided. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we'll leave the back one black. And maybe this is our public image bike. Who knows? Kind of really dropped the whole musical theme, but there we go. Meanwhile, our Bondo is all set, so anytime I think I haven't got anything to do, I can sand a bit of that down. Fun, fun, fun. And the good news about choosing orange is it's readily available at every O'Reilly's and Auto Parts, AutoZone store in America, because it's a Chevy colour for the Chevy engine. So I'm thinking these can go orange. Maybe those can go orange. That might be a bit much. Maybe an orange stripe or two or more. Well, I think that's quite enough umming and ahhing, and I promise next episode we'll be getting on with stuff and actually getting down to things. So as I said, thanks for tuning in, really appreciate it. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please. Especially if you're into Honda CB750s, there's an entire series on this boy here, which is just about finished. And plenty of other stuff, Kawasaki's, MV Augustas, Triumphs, Lancia Stratos. Yes, there's one of those here too, under wraps. Well, alright, it's a replica. It's only a cardboard cutout. No, seriously, it runs, it drives. There's bumper cars and 24 hours of lemons, Porsche 944 with a Chevy small block. So check it all out. Corvettes, TVR, Lotus, all kinds of stuff. A bunch of other stuff like Formula 1 car driving and Renault 5 racing and all kinds of other cars that I might have owned in the past. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.